Cyndi. I'm the dietitian at Crossover Health Services, and today we're going to talk about how to store fresh fruits and vegetables. In the FreshRx program, I'm so excited you'll be getting all of these fruits and vegetables, and I realized today, how are we going to store all this? When we're talking about storing fruits and vegetables, there are two things that we need to be concerned with. The first one is moisture. The second one is temperature, because both of those can impact bacteria and mold and how much they grow. To organize this, I set it up from what things need to be refrigerated first and eaten first, and what things we can put off and keep on our counter so that we have more room in our refrigerator. The first things we want to look at are what only lasts 3 to 5 days. If they're in your box, we want to pull them out immediately, either put them in the refrigerator or put them out as they need to be stored, and eat them first. So berries, whether it's blueberries or strawberries, they only last a few days. So we want to get them and put them in our refrigerator first. Now personally, I like to store my fruits and vegetables, and then as I need them, pull them out and wash them. But there are a few things that need to be washed first and they store better. One thing to know too is that there's more than one way to store a fruit and vegetable. If you've been storing an item a certain way and it works for you, then I would keep doing it. If your friend says this is how I do it and it works for them, then you can try what your friend uses and it should probably work for you too. There are two ways to store or to prepare strawberries. You can just make sure that they're dry before you put them in the refrigerator, because remember, moisture is something that we're trying to prevent. Some people will put their berries in a plastic container and then put a paper towel underneath it to make sure that it stays dry. Bananas, if you have them at your house, they're best kept on the countertop. If they start looking bad, you've not been able to get them eaten, then you can put them in the refrigerator. You can even freeze them. The peel will turn black, but the banana inside will remain good. The other things that will only last 3 to 5 days are going to be cabbage and most of your greens. Now kale is down here, it will last longer, but cabbage, lettuce, romaine lettuce, those are all things that we want to eat 3 to 5 days. Some may even last 6. Again, you can choose whether you put it in plastic and store it in your refrigerator like this, or whether you cut it up and wash it. If you do wash it, you want to put it in paper towels and then put it in a plastic bag in your refrigerator. Or something that I learned is you can take your greens, dry them off, and then store them in a cloth towel, and that way you're not reusing so many paper towels. You can also store it in your paper towel, your linen like this, and then store it upright in the refrigerator, so if there is any moisture, it will drain to the bottom. Next down, that will stay about 3 to 5 days, is going to be your summer squash. Whether it's yellow squash or zucchini, they'll only last a few days. Apples will only last a few days, but they'll last longer if you put them in the refrigerator. So all the things that I've mentioned up here need to be refrigerated except the banana. There are other things that are 3 to 5 days, and we think of them as the flower of a plant, and that would be broccoli. You can cut the bottom off of broccoli, and an interesting way to store it, just because it's a flower, you can store it just like you would a flower that someone brought to you, just like asparagus. Cut the bottom off and you can put it in a container of water, and it will store real well like that. Green beans, we want to put in something plastic, make sure they're dry, put them in something plastic, and put them in your vegetable bin. I want to stress, if you have a vegetable bin and a fruit bin in your refrigerator, it's best to keep the vegetables in one and the fruit in the other, because some fruits and a few vegetables put off ethylene gas, which can cause the other to spoil a little bit faster. As we move down a bit, now we're into items that will last 7 days up to a week or 2. We have citrus fruit, which may not come in your fruit and vegetable box, but is still a common fruit that we would have in our house. You can keep this out at room temperature if you'd like, but it will last a little bit longer if you put it in your refrigerator. Cucumber, you want to make sure it stays dry, and you can put it in your refrigerator and it will last up to a week. Celery, the same thing, make sure it's dry and it's wrapped. Radishes, if you get them like this with the green on the top, you want to pull the green off, wash the radishes, put them in a Ziploc container, and then some places that you read and some people will tell you to put a paper towel that's a slightly bit wet inside your plastic bag, and then put the plastic bag in your vegetable container, and that will stay quite a bit longer. Hope the radishes stay quite a bit longer. Your bell peppers, you want to keep them in plastic in your vegetable bin. They keep for about a week. And what's interesting is I've got them right next to each other, is the vitamin C content of your orange is about the same as your bell pepper. Very end, we have the winter squashes. We have butternut and we have an acorn squash. And they have a very hard exterior, so they will last up to a month, almost 2 months, just sitting on your counter. So you can keep them out. Your potatoes, you can put them in the refrigerator, but they will also stay in a cool, dark place. I keep them back in the corner of my counter. And then your onions are the same thing. They can stay at the room temperature, and garlic can stay at room temperature, and they will keep for several months. Again, you can keep them in the refrigerator if you have room. You can keep them on the counter if you don't. Well, I am so excited about the vegetable and the fruit program, and I hope you are too. I'll see you around Crossover. Thanks. Bye-bye.